Hello, everybody. All thanks to PointsBet. Kick the first 2 goals, you win. We are the Armchair Experts, Adam Cooney and Cam Luke. Huge show ahead of us. Get involved. Hashtag Armchair Experts at 7AFL. We'll talk a little more about the developing situation at North Melbourne. Brad Scott on the way out, who should coach, who will coach as well to end 2019. We're going to talk a man who definitely 100% should be All-Australian in my eye. It's not even a question.
This isn't on the rundown.
Yes, I know.
You've gone rogue early.
I've gone rogue
Oh,
early.
Pipes Luke's gone rogue. Look at those bad boys.
You know what?
Woo!
I was just looking at myself on the screen. I'm a little bigger than I thought I was. Give myself credit for it.
Man, I don't think you are.
I had a jump run before. I jumped a suva all over myself. I'm filthy. And plenty more. How you doing, big fella? What'd you think?
Uncooked linguine arms. That's what you look. I thought it was a pretty good performance by Sydney. They were going for 3 in a row, and it was a different Sydney game plan that they went in with. Very rarely do we see someone tag in the midfield. And very, very rarely do we see 2 run-with players.
That is rare.
They obviously identified that 2 of their best ball users in Scott Pendlebury and also Steele Sidebottom needed to be shut down.
Yes.
And Ryan Clark did a terrific job. Steele Sidebottom didn't touch the nut until about 5 minutes into the second quarter. Ryan Clark kept him to 13 for the game, which is a magnificent effort. He won't get the duck for it, but he might get some best and fairest votes from Horse.
Bet you he doesn't. All right.
He'll get best and fairest votes for that.
Hashtag Armchair Experts as well. The duck isn't too far away. Before we get into a little more about tagging, because funnily enough, that's where I want to go later in the show.
Hello.
You got a moment that mattered? One big critical moment?
Yes, it was late in the 4th, and generally with a tight game, there's one moment that sticks out, and it was a momentum swinger. And he had a terrific last quarter, our man Chris Mayne.
Yes.
And let's just have a look at the moment that mattered here. Ben Reid just having a ping, I thought, for goal, but lands at the top of the goal square. Chris Mayne comes back, provides a contest, and then the ball hits the deck. Bang! Beautiful goal, and then they got some momentum from there. Kicked another one moments later. He also had another moment that mattered, Chris Mayne.
He did just on that. Sydney had the previous 4 inside 50s, had been peppering the goals, had kicked a couple of behinds, had just... That Collingwood vaunted defence, which was so good last year, and we continue to talk about it. Missing some of them. Of course, no Darcy Moore, which we'll get to very shortly. No Langdon as well. But they held up. They were able to hold their nerve at critical times, and that was the moment that mattered. It swung the momentum and the confidence of the Pies.
And our man Dane Rampy, who we missed a couple of weeks ago when he climbed up the post, because when the final siren went, we got ready to do our show.
No, but I stand by this, okay? Because we were going to do it, and I said to you and to Marcus and the Flex, I said it's a non-event because he didn't intentionally shake the post.
No issue.
It took the AFL 6 days to actually say their statement is this, and that's why we didn't touch on it. But what did he do tonight?
Well, he does some weird shit late in the game, doesn't he?
No, well,
Dane Rampy.
I disagree.
He's a real weird unit.
Now,
he gave away one.
I disagree on this.
Gave away a 50.
I disagree.
Tonight, and he came off a really long. It was almost like a high jump.
Yeah.
A high jumper's run up. He came and looped around, tried to put Chris Mayne off the mark. Ended up jumping 4 metres over the mark and gave away a 50. And that was the game from there. So he's a terrific one-on-one defender, Dane
He
Rampy,
actually got exposed early on tonight. He didn't have much of an influence in the first or second quarter.
Odd unit.
He's different. I love him. He's the guy too. He's the guy that broke his wrist. Remember he broke his wrist at the start of the year when he tripped over the chain?
You know, I used to rock up to Western Bulldogs pre-season training, like 2 or 3 years in a row, when he played VFL for Williamstown.
Yeah, hang on, just quickly. He didn't just rock up. He was invited by the club.
Oh, they invited him down.
I thought you just meant he just jumped over the fence and, boys, can I have a kick?
Give the kids a run, a pre-season, see how they go. And then when pre-season finished, they'd flick him. So Liam Pickett and Dale Morris used to come down, try out every week. We go, here's these boys again, these no-hopers, back down. All premiership players.
Is Dane Rampy a premiership player?
Yeah, I think so. 2012.
He was a part of 2. How many games has he played?
137.
Okay,
no
that
idea.
is definitely wrong, but I'm not disagreeing with the premiership player. All right, a few players out tonight for Collingwood. And this is the concern coming into the game.
Nearly cost them the game.
Well, it didn't nearly cost them the game. They didn't choose to not play these guys. These guys are injured.
I'm just saying, it nearly cost them the game. They weren't dropped. They're not playing in the 2s.
We'll start with Darcy Moore, because I'm not sure where you're going to go with the duck tonight.
Well, you know where I'm going with the duck.
Okay, well, Sam Reid kicked 6. And that would have been the Darcy Moore matchup. And they horribly missed him. Ruffy did a pretty good job on Buddy at different times, although Bud, of course, coming back from a month layoff with the hamstring might have been slightly underdone. But no Darcy Moore tonight, and it took away their ability to be able to stop Sam Reid, because he's a perfect player. It's almost the prototype of the perfect forward in today's AFL game.
Yeah.
We saw Moore and Danaher go at Anzac Day. He's extremely critical as a defender, isn't he?
Oh, he's terrific. He's was in All-Australian form before he got injured.
But he's all Australian. That's not even a question.
So forced Madgen and then Jeremy Howe to play out of his depth. So it was a terrific game. I've never seen Sam Reid not only mark the footy like he did tonight, but also kick it.
Yeah,
Even his field kicking.
I'm not surprised by that.
Spot on.
He's an extremely talented player. The issue is, his body hasn't let him have a run. And unfortunately, his brother as well at different times.
Yep.
Now, they're both premiership players, and they're guys that are extremely talented. So that is not what surprises me. And hopefully, I touch wood for both Reid brothers, that he's able to show us more and more. Because remember 4 or 5 years ago, Fremantle offered him a mint to try and get him out of Sydney.
He was an All-Australian.
Couldn't quite get him. He's been an All-Australian and a premiership player. And guys who, or both of them, we touch on them here, are exceptional footballers. So Sam Reid kicking 6 tonight does not surprise me. Just hopefully he can continually stay on the park.
Yeah, spot on. Because without Sam Reid in the side, and when Buddy Franklin isn't firing, it's up to basically Tom Papley to kick Sydney's goals. So when he's on, and Buddy didn't have his best game tonight, he'll work into the season. Maybe should have put him in the NEFL for 2 or 3 weeks just to get the body right before they brought him back in. Maybe work him up through the twos.
You know, they were going to play him in the NEFL. And John Longmire rang me on Wednesday and said, do you mind if I play him in the NEFL? And I said, Adam Cooney reckons that you guys shouldn't play Friday. That is the dumbest. For people who missed the pre-game show, you think Sydney Swans shouldn't play Friday nights, in particular if Buddy Franklin's not involved. So they had to play him in the ones just so you had interest.
If Buddy Franklin's not playing, then Sydney should never play Friday nights until they score over 100 points in 4 consecutive matches.
All right, 2 quick ones here.
Yep.
Darcy Moore, does the fact he didn't play tonight and Sam Reid kicked 6, does it give him more credit when it comes to his All-Australian conversation?
It depends how many games he misses. So he can't miss too many more without being
what's the link
All-Australian
then?
selections. Probably 3 or 4.
So if he plays 18, be enough?
And then Jordan De Goey at the other end of the ground. I thought they really missed him tonight. He's their X factor. They didn't have a lot going up forward. Ben Reid didn't have a great night. Myercheck was okay at times. I thought he's had a pretty consistent season, Myercheck, but then the smaller guys around him had to get really busy. So they're missing Jordan De Goey forward. They missed Darcy Moore back, and that really evened up the side tonight. I probably didn't factor that in enough to my pre-game tipping, to be honest with you.
So you're talking about 2 guys who are in All-Australian form who aren't playing and didn't factor it in?
No.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I didn't think Sydney would play that well. It was gritty. They shut Collingwood down. They didn't really allow them to run. Collingwood averaged 410, I think, odd disposals per game. So they're about 40, 45 short on that tonight. Some of
also a smaller ground as well.
Yeah, smaller deck as well.
Did you factor anything in when tipping?
And they ran with
What did you factor in when tipping?
They ran with the 2 midfielders. So I thought it was a pretty good, not only good coaching performance by John Longmire, but also a good performance to try and shut Collingwood down as best they can. It was just the experience of some of those Collingwood players in the end that was the difference in the match. Aliir is one who I think we should give him a shout out because he's not going to get the duck either.
No, he's not.
He's becoming a seriously good defender.
Can I just point this out? Again, no surprise. Seriously huge factor in that team in 2016 that made a grand final. And the fact he didn't play in the grand final through injury probably hurt the Swans on the big day. Then, of course, there was, I think, a couple of missed alarms and couldn't quite get going for a number of reasons in 17 and 18. Yeah, he missed an alarm and missed a training session and ended up getting dropped and all the rest of it. He's an exceptional player, and I don't think that's yet again no surprise. Taylor Adams not playing. Mason Cox isn't playing. There's about a 12. There you go. Adams, Cox, De Goey, Dunn, who will be out for the year. Elliott, Langdon, Moore, Scharenberg with the knee as well, and Varco. Okay.
So Varco will come straight back in next week.
Well, can we put that back up, please? Because they're winning games without a lot of these guys, okay?
Your man Mason Cox is not too far away.
Syndesmosis,
but it's only a low grade. So
but he doesn't come back into this team until Ben Reid forces his way out.
So Ben Reid didn't have a great night tonight. So
look at that. Tell me yes or no. It's a simple yes or no. Best 22, okay?
Yep.
Considering they're all winning. Taylor Adams.
Yes.
Mason Cox.
No.
De Goey.
Yes.
Dunn's out for the year. Jamie Elliott.
Yes.
Langdon.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Scharenberg.
No.
Varco.
Yes.
Jeez, so you're going to squeeze a lot of guys out.
Squeeze a few out. That's just the reality of AFL football. Let's work out who goes then.
Okay, we don't need to worry about that right now.
No, let's just...
you got it there?
No,
you're going to drop
Let's
players?
I'm dropping them.
Oh, okay, drop
I'm
players.
dropping them right now.
Who are you dropping?
Madgen's gone. Yeah. Probably Rupert's got to go.
Oh, whoa. Nah.
All-Australian Ruckman.
All-Australian Ruckman.
Rupert Wills.
Mate, we sit around high-fiving Sean Grigg for being a premiership ruckman. Brodie Grundy went off And who was the influence
It was
in
Rupert.
the ruck?
It was a
Rupert.
boundary throw in, and
Yep.
Rupert was outside. Got the ball on the deck. Actually kicked it forward to Main, who kicked the goal.
Off a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah. So Rupert could maybe
Okay.
Rupert stays.
Imagine Rupert gone.
Daniel Wells. We've got to talk about Daniel Wells.
Will.
He's gone.
Wow.
Well, we're saying not gone, as in he's
Have
still,
we got the
he's
incident
still
there,
with
Marcus?
us.
All right, so it is a tackle. Now, the knee doesn't look good. I'm not sure if we'll see the exact vision. He gives a little knock
He drives it.
into space. He
into
grabs
the
it straight
turf.
away. It looks a little bit proppy there. Then he gives a little hit here.
It's like he's whacking
Old
the PCL
Darren
back in.
Creswell. Oh,
I
sorry.
don't think it's dislocated.
Sorry, Dr.
It's,
Cooney.
it's more of a posterior cruciate ligament that looks like it's gone. Is a collision
Yeah.
injury that ruckmen commonly get. So if that's the case, it's probably best case 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, so he looked
Can
6
possibly
weeks.
even longer. Then he's got to go through
That's
the
round
process.
16. He's got to get back into a really good team again.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's a low-grade strain of that PCL, if it is the case. If it has popped out, dislocated, looks like it has gone straight back in. So it could be even longer, which gives him, an even shorter time to try and get back for finals. So hopefully, I don't think we've seen the last of Daniel Wells.
Good.
I don't think it's a serious injury. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later, but he just can't get a good run at it, can he?
Imagine Wills.
Imagine Rupert, he's gone, unfortunately.
Wells.
Our man Rupert. Well, so that's 3.
I can't believe you're just dropping players out of a team that won tonight.
Well, you have to.
Give me someone
Maybe Callum Brown.
Brown?
But he kicked 2 goals tonight.
He did play well.
And was pretty handy. Apart from that,
Well, it's-
even Levi Greenwood was terrific in
Levi
the first
Greenwood ain't going
3
anywhere.
quarters.
Because if you're going to talk about taggers having huge influences on games, and Sydney did
But
tonight
they don't play him
with
as a
2.
tagger.
We didn't tonight. They chose not to tag the Sydney, but in big games
Yeah.
against Dustin Martin, he plays as a tagger. If you look at Geelong, he'll go to a Tim Kelly or a Danger, depending on how. So the teams at the top, I think they'd definitely use him to tag.
Yeah.
I don't think he's in there as a pure
And
midfielder. All right.
probably Brodie Grundy is the other one who's susceptible, I think.
68 hit-outs tonight.
Yeah.
You got your duck?
I've got my duck ready.
68 hit-outs and a broken nose. Just quickly, Moore, DeGoey and Grundy, they're all out of contract in the 2020.
Yep.
We have got, and obviously the posturing starts right now for getting a slice of the pie. Would you agree they're all $1 million players?
No.
Who's not?
Who's the other one?
Moore, DeGoey and Grundy.
Moore's an $800,000 player.
Okay.
DeGoey's $850.
Yeah.
And Brodie Grundy's probably 1 to 1.1.
Okay, now for the 142,000 people watching at home, just put that back up for a second. You can't. It's because they stuffed it up, so they don't want to show it again. Yeah, okay.
What
fair
do they
enough.
stuff up? It's always good when the boys stuff up.
Yeah,
mate.
they're happy to highlight our mistakes, but
yeah.
no, there's
Happy to throw us under the bus.
Okay, the poll results are who should Collingwood sign first? Get involved.
Geez, they're not
Hashtag
rating Darcy
Armchair
Moore.
Experts. Darcy Moore 9%, DeGoey
9%.
33%, Grundy 58%. I think that is somewhat skewed by the fact that Grundy is really, I don't think he'll leave, but because what he said last week to Tom Brown on Channel 7 News and
Nervous.
Adelaide are sniffing, they're going, no, if we show on a poll that Grundy, because Brody, of course, watches the show.
But I think he's on his
He'll
phone
keep him
right
to
now
stay.
in the change rooms, actually, tuning into us.
Okay.
So cheerio to Brodie Grundy. He's probably sitting around waiting for his duck.
Ah, well, let's see if he gets it.
It's a wrestle. Carey! Eustace Carey!
Shoving in the goals. Carey!
Now where is he? There he is! What a catch! In the vicinity of Carey.
Oh, there
Duck.
it is. We've got to change that to Friday night best on ground, because
No,
it's not Friday
it's
night best
not.
on ground.
It's
Friday night, the person who entertains us the most. So
Exactly.
if you can get those initials out,
All
that'd
right.
be terrific.
Rick Pell 13, Pendles 3, Sam Reed 2, Grundy 1. It's best on ground. SC Helper, Grundy Reed Pendles. Reed is EI. I'm not sure if that's a flex or helper to stuff that up, but come on, guys,
Reed.
you got to be better than that. Andy Weggs 1, Sam Reed Grundy Pendles, DJW _00 Reed Grundy Main. And I would have had Main in the top
I like
3.
that. Last quarter, he was huge.
And Respect,
Respect.
yeah, Reed Pendles and Grundy.
Right. Pendlebury was terrific. Kicked a magical goal.
He did, he's
And
superstar.
had Georgie Hewitt with him up until he got concussion.
Yes.
And then Jordan Dawson tried to run with him.
Yep.
So he beat the tag, had 29, kicked a goal. Was the 3rd best player on the ground.
Oh, don't give me this, just give me the duck.
I might give you the top 10 if you like. Brodie Grundy
You're so
with
analytical, Adam.
how many hit-outs?
He had
65?
68. He took
68 hit-outs.
68.
The 2nd best player on the ground.
Who was the best?
Sam Reed.
Yeah.
He gets the duck in a losing side. I think
There
it might
he
be our
is.
first loser duck that we've given out. Which loser and duck don't really go together well, because our man Duck dominated on
Yeah,
Friday night.
he
So,
did.
but 6 snags. It's the best I've seen him play. He was everywhere. Could have almost been the match winner if they won, but they didn't. But we're going to give him the duck anyway. It's our first consolation loser duck. And if he does this every week, it'll help Buddy Franklin as well. Because then they're going to have to toss up whether they play the best defender or the second best defender on Buddy if he's not playing that well. So, terrific night. This is his 5th from the boundary. Look at that.
That was beautiful.
Very good, Sam Reid. Have the duck.
He also won the medal as well for best on ground.
Did he?
He won the medal. What are your thoughts on players in losing teams winning medals in high-profile games? You okay with it?
Oh, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no dramas?
Bucks won a Norm Smith, didn't he?
Yeah, players win Norm Smith all the time.
Who won it? Lenny Hayes won a Norm Smith in the... Was it a draw?
That was a draw.
Or losing?
That was a draw.
Just draw.
Yeah. Just all right. So
They lost the next.
but there's got to be a number, I reckon, that if your team loses one more than a certain amount,
It's probably...
what is it? 3 goals?
Couldn't
for
be
you?
more than 18, 19
3 goals.
points.
Yeah, they're cool. So from 0 to 18, you happy with it? Outside, it has to be a winning team.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, I agree with
We
that.
should write that into the AFL laws.
Well,
into
I'll
the
tell you
rule.
what, they're going to have to change a lot of things up right now because a lot of people don't understand the rules. All right, points bet, big call. Kick the first 2 goals, you win. Very simple. And I have a bad feeling about this.
I wasn't too
Because-
bad
oh,
with mine. Like, I've been 5 goals to Buddy and Papley. Didn't quite eventuate. 4 goals to Hoskin, Elliott and Stevenson. Didn't quite get there.
Yep.
I did get Lloyd and Treloar to have
Yep.
it 30 plus
Yes.
into the Pies winning.
Okay.
So, again, I failed in my big call. I'm
Can
going to have to readjust it to a mediocre call.
No,
coming
well,
up.
I'm going to continue to go big because that's what I do. I go big or I
Apart
go
from
home.
your physique.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to wear a muscle top on our grand final show.
Oh.
Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear a muscle top at our end-of-year Duck Award. Of course, Sam Reid is now a non-Victorian invitee to
He'll-
the Duck Award, which
he'll
will be
get
held
the
at
invite.
Cheeky Monkey on Swan Street. And it's all you can drink put on by Adam and I. And we're hoping, we'd love to see all you Duck winners, all 23 of you there. But if you don't come, you don't come. And then you and I get to sample the goodness just ourselves.
You know, quick update on the post-season awards. We've got 2 RSVPs.
From who?
Me and you.
That's not bad.
We only 2 goals. Can you never do that again?
Nah, well, I don't know why you allow me to do it. It was a bad thing in the in the pre-game. Anyway, Cheeky Monkey's where we'll be. All right.
What was your big
where was
call?
I?
You've got to
big
go
call.
through yours.
There you go. Grundy, agreed. Treloar, no good there.
JK didn't have 30.
No,
Reid
JK
brothers
hurt
were,
his knee, which is not
the
good.
Reid brothers were in a few contests together,
Yeah,
but
they
they were
were.
ruck contests, not marking
I
contests.
think there was a bad bounce as well.
Yeah,
At least it got the
and
Pies,
to win.
But yeah, I'm not going to shy away from the big calls because, as I said, I'm like Babe Ruth. I point and I swing.
So the final one, you're an idiot. Don't be swinging with them or pointing with them. Can we get his jumper on, please? Can we put his jumper back on?
I've got a super written all
I've
over
got
it.
half of garlic sauce on
Actually,
on
Flex,
your
did you get
sumo.
my jacket? Did you get my jacket, please, from over there?
More points.
All right. Who had the ball? Who won this?
I
We
think
don't actually
Bud.
know the answer.
I think Buddy. Buddy kicked 2 straight.
I'm hoping so.
Stevenson kicked
I'll check.
1
I'll
goal.
check
1.
that. I'll check it. What do we get?
Yeah,
So I won.
Buddy won it.
Boom!
Yeah, well done.
Beautifully, beautifully done. All right.
good.
The big news of the day has been that Brad Scott, of course, is going to part ways with the North Melbourne Football
Well,
Club.
it hasn't actually been confirmed by North Melbourne.
No, it
yet,
hasn't. I did see an article on the. Are you happy with this? Are you happy with this?
What is this?
It's a new jacket. New jacket. Who dis?
Oh, you've come up with some shocking attire.
Can't get me
in your
harm in.
time.
You don't like this jacket?
Why are you wearing that?
Because it was cold on the way in.
Oh God. Yeah, so here, they haven't even.
This does look bad on screen.
That's terrible. They haven't confirmed North Melbourne that Brad Scott's actually
Okay.
leaving. So
No.
are we still speculating?
So
or
we are still speculating.
Has it been
because
confirmed?
I think it's been written off by enough journalists for it to be somewhat true. So,
I'm already picking we've already picked out new coaches.
so we do believe that
North
tomorrow
Melbourne.
it will be the last coaching game at North Melbourne for Brad Scott. At Shane Callard 10 says Chris Scott should coach the Roos next year. S Booth 29 says Johnny Barker, who is at Carlton as an assistant coach and has been heavily close, or at least heavily involved in interviews with Carlton and the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Last couple of years. Reece
he'll be
Shaw says
contender?
Ral Kieran.
Reece Shaw's is he caretaker?
I believe that Reece Shaw is held in such high regard at North Melbourne. He will be a caretaker coach, or at least one or two possibilities.
I would have thought they'd given it to Will Minson.
Is he down there?
Imagine, big Will.
What's he do? Ruck coach.
He's the ruck coach,
Yep.
and the spray coach. So he just cops,
And
he
Damo
cops the
SC,
sprays from the coaches.
Peter Sumich, who's been close a couple of times as
Schumer.
well, and JL Signage says Robert Harvey, question mark, who of course at the Collingwood.
Nice.
Or is he gone back to St Kilda now? No, he's at the Collingwood Football Club.
My three favourites.
There you go.
Are Daniel G and Syracuse,
Yes.
as I mentioned before. Adam Kingsley
Yes.
and Adam Simpson, who I thought if he could go back-to-back with the Eagles, come back home to Melbourne.
Yeah, and I did say that if it is to be Duran Syracuse or Kingsley, try and get a right. I think they need a right-hand man. If they're going to take a huge risk with a first-time coach, they have to go and get, say, Paul Roos, someone like that, who would come in and maybe sit around. Okay.
Right, now...
Hashtag Armchair Experts to get involved. Who will coach North Melbourne? Who should for next year?
What if this, you've got an all-Australian lock that no one's
Oh,
thought
no.
about?
No. You wouldn't have thought
You've
about
been
it.
a bit off track this show, so pull yourself together. What are you talking about?
100% after round 9, Matt De Boer should be the first man named in the All-Australian
Matt
team.
De Boer.
Matt De Boer, who remarkably is, obviously a former Fremantle player. Look at this.
Have a look at this.
Have a
Took
look at
down
this.
Zach, took down Dusty, took
16,
down Kelly,
59.
took down Brad Hill, the Gresh Prince,
8, yeah.
Jaeger Bomb,
Yes.
and Paddy Cripps as well.
Yes. Now, just off that,
Paddy
that's
Cripps' head a
63.
lot bigger than those other heads.
That's about, I'm guessing that's about 82.
Look at the pill on him.
That's 80. I think that's 82 touches for those superstars, all of which, in fact, there's the two Brownlow favourites there in Cripps and Kelly.
Geez, Tim Kelly didn't get
And then
there.
you got Dusty, who's obviously won it before. So they are just legit superstars of the game. 109 touches he's had himself while holding the best midfielders to the game in 82. Now, I'll argue that if he was a key defender, okay, so if he was Tom Stewart, who was an All-Australian last year and doing a wonderful job this year, Alex Pearce or Joel Hamling, two guys at Fremantle playing really well, and was holding key forwards goal or sort of one goal, we continue to jump up and down and talk about how great they're doing. Yet when a player goes into the middle of the ground, a run-with player who, we love to see our midfielders get 35 touches and use the ball so well.
Yeah,
but when a defender goes in there, and he is technically a defender and does that and then gets more touches than the superstar midfielder, we say, nah, it's bad for the game for him to be included in the All-Australian team. Matt De Boer, if he continues this form and is helping the Giants win games as they are, and he gets snubbed out of All-Australian, it'll be the biggest snub of the year.
All right, the only problem is, who do you leave out?
Well,
Who are you
leave one of the guys out he dominated.
You'll leave Travis Boak out?
Well, Travis Boak's been outstanding. When they play Port Adelaide, we'll see how he goes.
It's a bit. It's a big call. Maybe throw him on the bench.
But so hang on. So you're
Throw him on the
saying
pine.
you can't. You're not going to squeeze out a player. You're like, oh, I don't want to squeeze out a player. And the right is that it's probably going to be a player that he's dominated.
Yeah, no doubt. But I like positivity.
So this
I like the positive players
this is the point.
to be up there.
This is the point. What fans are saying?
Boer's-
Oh, we can't have an
Do you
All-Australian.
know what he's doing?
They can't have an All-Australian. So
Stopping the fun.
how about we just have the most 22 exciting players in the competition? Don't even have them in positions there. Just put them all on the page.
If they played a game against someone,
De Boer's in.
well, they should. They should have two All-Australian sides, a first 22 and a second 22, and they should play against each other.
Nah, because I'm against the squad.
Clay
The squad's
Thompson,
one of the
Clay
dumbest
Thompson,
things of all time.
All-Australian second team.
How about, just quickly, just on the NBA.
I've got him wound up. Again.
No, because the media actually vote on all NBA teams, right? And then that is attached to how much a team can actually offer you. Imagine the All-Australian team was dependent. So if you didn't make an All-Australian
contract
team,
status.
a club couldn't give you more money.
You can put that in your contract. You can put anything in
No,
your
but
contract.
that's to earn a bonus.
Yeah.
Not as in the ceiling of what the club can give you.
I think I had it in mind.
Yeah, you did.
In
You
one
told
of
me
my
you did.
contracts.
It was 48 grand.
Hey, Cooney Comics.
Wasn't it?
Cooney Comics time.
48,000?
Did you watch the NBA today? The Bucks and the Raptors?
I did NBA
Oh, yeah?
radio
Yeah.
on SCN. Yeah, I was there.
Let's have a look at this vision. Imagine this in Australia. This is David Bakhtiari, the Packers offensive lineman. As soon as the camera cut to him, he knew it was his time. His time to shine.
Look at his girlfriend.
Not his first beer, I don't think, for the day. And then just hammers two of them and then throws the challenge over to the GOAT. Aaron Rodgers, Game of Thrones extra. And also, side note, NFL MVP. He's got half a cup here, Aaron Rodgers. Have a look at this piss poor effort. 1, 2, 3. Bob Hawke would have scaled 2 litres by now, the great man. Couldn't even finish it, Aaron Rodgers. And Bakhtiari just wants to hammer him. He wants to run across the court. And this is the Major League MVP.
National League, Major League, yes.
There's a little bit of dribble coming off the chin, but
You know his name?
even he's...
You know his name?
Christian Yelich.
There you go.
Even he's trying to put it down. And then Aaron Rodgers is trying to discount the fact that he's put down a beer and he couldn't even finish it. So Aaron Rodgers is known as he's in the conversation of GOAT.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I'll reluctantly allow you that for the comics.
You're putting down a quarter of a beer on national television. You've been on Game of Thrones and you're putting up that sort of piss poor effort. Not good enough, Aaron.
Do you know what he's done now? Oh, he's tried to call the others out and said, "Make it Scotch, I'll take you on."
Come on.
Now, do you honestly think
I don't believe
if
that
he's
for a
struggling
second.
there with the Budweiser, he can go and get a Scotch and finish it?
Yep.
Really?
No.
All right,
Absolutely not. Not good enough.
Okay, you got any-
Bakhtiari, what a machine he was, though.
Any other unfunny stuff for us?
No, that's it. That's
it.
I'm
Okay.
done.
Cool. All thanks to points, but let's have a look at the rest of the round. Friday night, done and dusted. Pies will rest up. We'll start with
Fitty.
that's gone. We had the Hawks up for a split second.
Hawks and
Now
Port.
It's gone. Hawks and Port. What do you think?
Where is it? Is that the G or is it in Tassie? I think it's in
Down in
Tassie. I'm going to go with the Hawks. I think
Go with
it'll
the
be-
Hawks?
I think it'll be a close game, but what are you doing, mate?
Well, because
Yeah,
the
I
boys
think we
at the back have been so bad
You know
today.
we're still going.
Now they need a piece of paper. Yeah. Dogs in North Melbourne, of course, which will be known as the Brad Scott game.
This will be the Brad Scott game. Brad Scott's farewell game, which has come from absolutely nowhere.
Yep.
Will the boys find a bit of shin boner spirit
Well, what
for,
would
for
you?
Scotty?
Would you?
Oh, I played my whole career with shin boner spirit.
Did you really? you know, North Melbourne's issue isn't the coaching; it's the inability to attract players. Okay.
Yes, we know that.
And you're one of them. Because you sat in a meeting with Brad Scott
Yeah, well,
and the
don't
football team, and then you left after 7 minutes, and you never went back in.
I don't think that they miss me too.
No, they definitely don't. But why didn't you go there?
Because I got seduced by the
there it is.
golden blonde locks and blue eyes of James Hird
Okay, now
and the program.
Dogs should win that one, but who knows what North Melbourne's going to do.
Dogs.
Jeez, the odds here are...
That's a serious 245 for the Eagles. Wow. I'm not taking it, but 245.
Am I the only person not surprised that Bryce Gibbs got dropped again?
Yes, I think you are.
Well, so you think he should be in the team?
Would you imagine if you ran around last week, you got a game of AFL footy, you had 22, kicked 2 goals, come in, tell the family, and then during the week you get dropped?
Well, it happens all the time.
Not for you, it doesn't.
No, not yet.
Yeah,
I think like it's over. Who wins that game?
He hasn't been the worst.
That's a big game.
Yeah, I think Adelaide at home.
Yeah, I think at home
will
as
win
well.
that.
How about the Suns? Are they any chance to beat the Cats?
No,
No?
they're not, unfortunately.
Do you reckon there will be a big crowd at Metro, kind of like welcome home for Gaza?
Yeah, if his family goes up there and watches.
Hey, there's no Patrick Dangerfield. Whose side are you on? Patrick Dangerfield or Kane Corns?
I've got to go with the Olympic flame on this one.
Oh.
I've got to side.
you're
I've got to
telling me-
side with my man,
So you think Danger plays up
my
to it as
media
well?
partner. Well, he missed a week, so probably not on this occasion.
He's
but-
injured.
Yeah,
Mind you,
he is injured.
even if he does play it up, there's nothing wrong with it. Theatre and that's part of sport.
You talk too much. What's next?
Oh,
Dream time
What's
at
on
the
the
G.
screen? Tell us.
Dream time at the G. My boys, unfortunately, won't be good enough.
Tom Bell-Chambers, one of the best ruckmen in the game.
Who said that? Someone
Damien
said that
Barrett said
tonight.
that in an AFL media article
Actually,
today.
if they tag Dusty in this game, if someone goes to
I didn't think you
Dusty,
liked taggers.
then the midfield.
What do you want taggers for?
Actually, Dustin Hebbel can do it. Give him a job.
Okay.
Give the skipper a job.
There you
Then
go.
they're a chance.
Oh, now, this actually will decide if the Giants can win the flag or not.
Or if they win at the MCG.
Yeah, they've got to win the MCG sooner rather than later. If they can't beat the Ds who are struggling, in particular with their lack of personnel, then you can kiss it goodbye.
You know who their most important player is for the Giants? Shane Mumford.
Nah,
Watch this space.
it's not Shane Mumford.
It is.
It's Jeremy Cameron or Toby Green, or it's Whitfield or
It's not
Keelan.
Toby
In fact,
Green.
I'd actually say Mumford's on the top 10.
St Kilda,
Oh, what's this?
Carlton.
Who wins?
This could be the Brendan Bolton farewell as well.
Tell you what, I just want to give a big shout out. I do radio Sunday nights. I hope Carlton win. Because all I do is get belted on the phones by Carlton fans for 3 hours.
Well, that's
so I hope
good.
the Blues get the win.
It's less work you got to do if you've got plenty
Nah.
of callers. St Kilda for me. I think the Dockers will win at home. Hard to beat over there. The
You know
Dockers.
the
They
most-
just need a score, please. Play a bit more attacking footy.
No,
Ross.
Matt Tabernar is going to hurt them a little bit. You know the most important player for the Dockers is?
Jesse Hogan.
Nat Fife. On that, we're done. Well, thanks to Points Bet. No, we're not done.
No, actually, just last one. If-
Oh, we've got some advice.
We got some-
Are we doing this?
We
are
should do this weekly, a
Oh,
bit BT's advice, because generally he comes up with some gold. Kids out there, if you're playing footy this weekend and you cop yourself a little bit of a bleed, this is what you do.
Ginger. Tell you what, a lot of pressure, Jude, for the doctor here of Collingwood to get this one sealed up. I don't know, hemorrhoid cream, whatever cream you want.
Get the tape
Pile it
around
on.
the head.
Yep. Just put the whole tube on it.
So you get the mum and dad's medical cabinet.
Yeah.
You get out the hemorrhoid cream. You just smack a whole tube on your face.